Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this wearable smoky eye look. Honestly, I find this look super easy and super flattering. You can pretty much put this look on any eye shape and it looks really good. Obviously, there are a few things you can tweak and I talk about that later in the video, but all in all, I find this look super universally flattering and very wearable and just quick and easy when you're kind of craving a more smoky, sultry eye look. If you haven't already, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification. Your support really makes a huge difference and I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Since I wanted to keep the focus on the eyes for this tutorial, I went ahead and did everything else off camera. So I have my base, I have my lips, brows, blush, everything I have done beforehand. When you're wearing a lot of shadow on your eyes, you are going to want to use a primer of some sort, whether that be concealer or an actual primer, it's up to you. For me, I like to use the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base in the colorless version. I just find this to be a really great eyeshadow base. If you have discoloration on your lids, NARS also makes these primers in a variety of different shades depending on your skin tone. So if you want something with a bit of coverage, I would recommend those as well. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that primer. And I'm just going to be blending that out with my finger, tapping that in, being really careful not to pull my eyelids at all. Before I apply any shadow, I like to kind of map out the eye shape that I'm going for with a creamy eyeliner pencil. Today I'm using this one by MAC in the shade Coffee. So I'm just going to follow my lash line starting at the middle point of my eye. I'm just starting to draw pretty much a winged liner shape to trace out where I'm going to be applying shadow. I really love the color of this pencil. It's just a really nice coffee brown. It is super blendable, super creamy, and easy to work with as well. I'm going to be applying it a little bit heavier on the outer corner, and I'm going to blend this out, so no need to be too precise with this step. So taking a rougher 26 brush, I'm just gonna start blending out that eyeliner kohl. Definitely take your time blending out this liner, and again, it doesn't need to be perfect at this stage. We're just kind of getting a general feel for the shape that we're going for. Using my finger, I'm just going to lightly kind of clean up any of the edges where I may have over blended a little bit. Okay, so that is what the eyes are looking like after applying that liner. We want to keep the center points of our eyes pretty light, so that is why I avoided bringing my liner all the way in. I just feel like smoky eyes can kind of make my eyes look small and closed off, so by not bringing any dark shadow on the inner corners of my eyes, it prevents that from happening as much. We also want the base of our lashes to look very dark for a smoky eye, so that's why I really concentrated that liner at the base of my lashes. So now I'm going in with another eyeliner pencil. This one is by Hourglass. This is their Voyeur Waterproof Gel Eyeliner in the shade Cave. This is a really nice long wear eyeliner, and I'm going to be applying this in my waterline and my tightline. I'm not bringing this all the way into my inner corner. I'm basically just going 2/3, 3/4 of the way in. Same thing on the bottom, I'm not bringing it all the way in, I'm only gonna bring it about halfway across my eye. As you can see, that kind of instantly gives that sultry, smoky effect. If you have very large eyes or you really like a smoky look, you can bring it all the way in if you want. Some people bring their liner all the way into their waterline, both on the top and bottom, and it looks really good. So Basically, just work with your eye shape. If you have smaller eyes like me, I would recommend keeping the bulk of the color on the outer corners. If you have very large eyes, I would recommend bringing the liner all the way in on the top and the bottom. Going in with my Natasha Denona palette, I'm taking the shade Cocoa and I'm really just building that up on the outer corner of my eyes. This is a really beautiful chocolatey brown. It's not too dark, not too light. It's just enough to start building some dimension. I'm pretty much applying that shade right on top of where we applied that coffee eyeliner and just really packing that color on. Taking a clean blending brush, I'm just going to run that over the edges of this color. On the outer corners, I'm very slightly flicking that shade upwards toward my temple just to emphasize that smoky, sultry cat eye shape. I'm also going to take a little bit of that same color on a small smudger brush and really just run it along my upper lash line. Again, I'm only taking that about 2/3 of the way in. I'm also going to take that color and smudge it on my bottom lash line as well. I'm only taking that shadow and smudging it to the point where we applied that liner on the waterline. I'm not really bringing it in too far on my inner corner area. I'm pretty much avoiding that area. And I'm just connecting it with that upper lid. To blend that out a little bit, you can just take a clean pencil brush and just run that along the edges of that shadow. And of course, I'm just going to do the same thing on the other eye. Alright, so once we have that, we're going to go in with a little bit of a deeper brown and focus that again on the outer corners. I'm going in with the shade Seed from my Natasha Denona palette, and I'm really just packing that on the outermost part of my eye, really just accentuating my outer V. I'm just using a little pencil brush and I'm just patting that dark tone in right on top of that shadow we just placed. And then just taking a detailed blending brush, I'm just going to lightly run that along the edges of that darker shadow. This look is really all about layering and blending, layering and blending. I would definitely recommend having a fluffy blending brush as well as a more detailed blending brush. I really like this one from Zoeva. This is their 224 Luxe Defined Crease, and I really think this does a great job of blending those smaller areas that you don't want to get too blown out. And I'm just using a very light hand when I'm blending the edges of this dark shadow because I really don't want to blend it too far out so that it looks kind of mucky. I want to keep it pretty contained. And then again, same thing, taking that darker shade and just applying it on the outermost part of my lower lash line. If you're having a hard time blending the edges of your shadow, take a tiny bit of the bronzer you use and just run it along the edges and see if it blends a little bit better. Often it's nice to have a little bit of a light transition color. It just kind of diffuses things ever so slightly. All right, so now I'm going in with a little bit of a lighter shade. I'm going in with the shade Tusk from that same Natasha Denona palette, and I'm basically applying that on the innermost part of my eyes. I just find personally that on me, it's not as flattering when I have a smoky eye that is just all dark. I need a little bit of light just to balance it out and not close off my eyes. I'm also going to apply a little bit of that color on the inner corner of my eyes. I think that looks really good, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of glitter just to slightly catch the light a little bit on my lid. I'm going to be using the Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadow in the shade Ray. I'm just going to take a little bit of that shadow and tap it on the middle of my eye, just kind of catch the light whenever I look down. I'm also going to apply a small amount of that right on the center of my lower lid too. I think that looks so pretty. This shadow is so gorgeous. It's a very wet glitter look. It's not chunky at all and it's not heavy. It is just so beautiful and luminous. I think this really accentuated the overall look. To deepen it up a little bit more, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black eyeshadow. I'm using this one from that same palette in the shade Spot, and I'm just going to focus that on my lash line. I'm just taking that on a tiny little smudge brush and just lightly tapping that on top of my lash line. All right, now time for mascara and lashes. I'm just going to curl my lashes using my Shiseido eyelash curler. Okay, so I'm layering 2 mascaras today. I'm starting off with a lengthening mascara. I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Mascara. This has been a long-time favorite of mine. It's such a good mascara. It never transfers and it just really lengthens and separates my lashes and never ever clumps. And for a little bit of extra volume, I'm taking this mascara by Patrick Ta. This is the 4 Eyes Major Volume Mascara, and I'm just going to be applying a coat right on top of that. All right, you guys, and that is it. This is honestly my signature smoky eye look. I find it to be super flattering, honestly, on so many different kinds of people, so many different eye shapes. And I also just find it a lot easier to wear on an everyday basis. Sometimes when I rock like a full black, fully dark smoky eye, I just don't feel like myself and I just feel weird, like going out in public, you know, but I still want to wear a smoky eye. So I feel like this is a really good way to kind of get the best of both worlds. Still wearable, still easy, but still smoky and sultry. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.